Hey there VCE HHD students, my name's Andy, I'm a VCE Health and Human Development teacher. In this short video we're going to look at the question, what is double burden of disease in Unit 4 VCE HHD? Before we dive into that question, a reminder, the Health Resources Hub YouTube channel will have a new video like this one coming out each day between now and the HHD exam at the end of this year. So if you're finding them useful, please tell your HHD friends to subscribe, and you too. You can also sign up to the ACE HHD exam preparation session I'm running at the end of the year at book.acevce.com. You can see our social media links there if you'd like to get an alert to the new videos that are coming out each day, and our email if you've got any questions or suggestions on videos you'd like me to work on. So you might be wondering, what part of the course is double burden of disease relevant to? So these are a couple of key knowledge points from early on in Unit 4 Area of Study 1, where you can see you need to look at similarities and differences in health status and burden of disease in low, middle and high income countries, including Australia, and then a range of factors that contribute to them. So double burden of disease really comes up in this part of the course because often you're looking at low and middle income countries, and those low and middle income countries can sometimes experience double burden of disease. So before we touch on that, what is burden of disease again? You'll see down the bottom there, I've given you the description. So burden of disease is measuring the impact of disease and injuries, and then it focuses on both YLL, so years of life lost due to premature death, and YLD, years lived with disease, disability or illness, and it's measured in DALY, and so DALY equals YLL and YLD. So really when looking at burden of disease, you're focusing on certain conditions and the kind of impact that those diseases or conditions can have on a population. So when we're talking about double burden of disease, we're talking about conditions that might be associated with both poverty and wealth that can exist side by side in one population or one community. And so that might be, for example, low-income countries that might experience both communicable and non-communicable diseases. So for example, they might experience communicable diseases like HIV/AIDS, but also non-communicable diseases like heart disease. Or they might experience conditions such as malnutrition, which is often associated with poverty, but also perhaps type 2 diabetes, which is often associated with more wealth or a lifestyle disease. So really that's what double burden of disease is focusing on, that combination of both conditions associated with wealth, but also associated with poverty at the same time. And so often these countries that experience both of them experience this double burden that's really not experienced in a high-income country. So for example, in Australia, yes, we experience conditions associated with wealth like type 2 diabetes or heart disease, but we don't really have a very high burden for those conditions associated with poverty. So things like malnutrition or, for example, HIV/AIDS. So we don't necessarily experience this double burden of disease. You can see there's a statement down the bottom there from the UN that mentions that an increasing number of countries face a double burden of disease as the prevalence of risk factors for chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, and cancers increase. And then many of those nations still struggle to reduce, say, maternal and child deaths associated or caused by infectious diseases. So they're linking those infectious or communicable diseases, which are sitting side by side beside some of these chronic diseases. So that hopefully there helps to clarify what we're talking about when we're talking about double burden of disease. Hopefully you found this useful. As I mentioned, the Health Resources Hub YouTube channel has a new video coming out each day, so please subscribe to that. Sign up to the HHD exam preparation session for ACE at book.acevce.com. There's our social media and our email. Thanks so much.